I am going to ask you some questions, Patricia, and you have to be very impartial to answer them. Yeah?
I'll try my best.
Okay. Can economic growth and sustainability truly coexist, do you think?
Okay, so I am going to be a little bit biased with that. And I think boldly enough, I'm going to say yes, they can and they should exist. I think any kind of economic growth that isn't really sustainable should not be considered economic growth at all. Because when you look at, for example, I mean, that's why we came up with the Paris Agreement at the end of the day. Because, for example, Article 2.1c of the Paris Agreement talks about making finance flows consistent with low greenhouse gas emissions. And then it says with climate resilient development. So all kinds of development should be climate resilient, because any kind of economic growth that isn't also taking into consideration the sustainability of its people and how this is going to impact their future generations, because we're not just thinking about today, right? Economies rather should grow in a way that is also sustainable and also just takes into consideration the long-term effects of this economic growth. And history does repeat itself, because when we look at the Industrial Revolution and all those discussions that we have in the negotiation rooms, it always brings us back to at what cost was this Industrial Revolution? At what cost did it happen? And today we are talking about emissions, historical emissions, offsetting of carbon footprints, and you can see that as important as economic growth is, it shouldn't happen without the sustainability angle of it, because then the results are just a bit detrimental, not even a bit, a lot more detrimental to the livelihoods of the people. And I think the biggest asset that any economy can have is not the money, it's their people. So yes, definitely they should coexist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that I 100% agree, and this was a very nice answer. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm going to pick one for you.
Yes.
Don't
pick so hard. Don't pick a very tough one. I had a long day already.
Okay, what's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color?
Yeah, because I'm gonna pick based on that.
I think it's green.
Okay, lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is your question. How can we talk about the environment without making it elitist?
It's a very good question, right? And the one that has a lot of depth to it, I guess. Yeah. But also we have to recognize that all of these places, and for example, the place that we are sitting here today, for example, right? Yeah. The 20th Conference of Youth. It's just that a lot of these places are a place of privilege. Yeah. You got access here, I got access here, because we have some sort of privilege to basically break those doors and step inside, right? And not necessarily for the youth conferences, because it's mostly like visa and stuff, but then for COP it's a completely different story, and we can not even have like stats of how many young people and children are attending, right? But I think that it's not really possible to have a conversation about environmental rights, environment, or climate action without the community and without a very, elitist notion to it, elitist perspective to it. I don't think if it is possible, because it's a problem that is stemming and affecting everybody, but the most
affected
to people who are at the forefront are the grassroots, are the people who are from the communities. In their daily lives. A fisherman does not know what loss and damage means, but he knows that, he has been getting lesser money to take home because of, lesser fishes to be found in the sea, or he knows how much the flooding has been impacted his work as well. Or a farmer does not know what does, proper means of adaptation means, but he knows what happens when, for example, heat waves happens or droughts happen and they lose the whole livestock, for example, right? So I think, in my opinion, it's not an elitist conversation. But of course, it's also the notion of partnership is very important as well. Yeah. So I don't think we should kind of forget anybody, but I think that it's not an elitist space just to have this conversation. But
yeah, thank you so much for bringing that out, because I think this is exactly what we're trying to push for, creating spaces like KOI. So I think we are actually walking the talk rather, and doing the rest of the advocacy for local communities and grassroots. So yeah, thank you for that perspective.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having this conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Goodbye.